Have you ever wondered what exactly is animation or how did it came into existence? Well, in today's video, we are going to learn just that. So let's start with what exactly is animation. Animation is an art form that has captured the imagination of people for over a century, bringing stories to life frame by frame. From the ancient cave drawing to the groundbreaking digital masterpieces of today, animation has evolved into one of the most dynamic and influential forms of storytelling. The word animation comes from the Latin word animatio, which means bestowing life, which if we think about it, fits exactly about what animators do. They give life to still images. Animation is a filmmaking technique where still images are manipulated to create moving images. Simple, right? Well, not exactly. There are many forms of animations. Today we are going to learn about three most common types, starting with traditional animation. Traditional animation is an animation technique in which each frame is drawn by hand. The technique was the dominant form of animation of the 20th century until there was a shift to computer animation in the industry. J. Stuart Blackton's The Uncharted drawing from 1900 is regarded as the first film with elements of hand-drawn animation. In 1908, Emile Cow took a massive step forward. The Phantasmagorie, considered the earliest animated film using traditional animation methods. Animation continued to evolve in the 1910s with even more complicated energy, but animators were faced with a problem. They had to redraw entire frames, including the background, which resulted in inconsistencies. So in 1915, Earl Hurd and John Bray came up with the cell animation process, where moving subjects would be drawn onto transparent sheets called cells and placed on static backgrounds. Then these were placed on background to be photographed using cameras called rostrum cameras. With time, Disney's animation improved. A specific style developed which is now known as 12 principles of animation. These principles are focused on making animations realistic and fluid. These principles are still followed by today's animators to push the boundaries of animation. The next animation style is anime.
領域展開無料空想
Anime is hand-drawn and computer-generated animation originating from Japan. The earliest commercial Japanese animation dates to 1917. A characteristic art style emerged in the 1960s with the works of cartoonist Osamu Tezuka and spread in following decades, developing a large domestic audience. Anime is distributed theatrically through television broadcasts, directly to home media, and over the internet. In addition to original works, anime are often adaptations of manga, light novels, or video games. It is classified into numerous genres targeting various broad and niche audiences. Anime is a diverse medium with distinctive production methods that have adapted in response to emergent technologies. It combines graphic art, characterization, cinematography, and other forms of imaginative individualistic technique. Compared to Western animation, anime production generally focus less on movement and more on the detailed settings and use of camera effects such as panning, zooming, and angle shots. Diverse art styles are used and character proportions and features can be quite varied, with a common characteristic feature being large and emotive eyes. The anime industry consists of over 430 production companies, including major studios such as Studio Ghibli, Kyoto Animation. Anime continues to evolve and is one of the largest industries in the world. The next type of animation is 3D animation. While traditional animation was the dominant form of animation in the 20th century, 3D computer animation is the dominant form of animation today. 3D computer animation means any animation created digitally with a sense of depth which is not usually achieved by traditional animation. In 1960s, scientists began to develop computer animation. In 1972, Edwin Catmull and Fred Park developed a computer animated hand and face at the University of Utah. Computer animation was used to create special effects in the live-action movies. Later in the 1900s, technology had finally evolved enough to create entire computer-generated animations. VeggieTales, premiered in 1993, was the first TV show completely made up of 3D computer animation. In 1995, Pixar released Toy Story, the first movie made with 3D computer animations, and it changed the industry forever. The style of 3D animation varies studio to studio, but commonly the animation team begins with the modeling where the characters are sculpted. Then animators will create a skeletal version of the characters. These skeletons have points which can be moved from frame to frame, called AVAs. Then a process called keyframing is used where animators move the AVAs to their desired positions for each keyframe, and the computer does the tweening in between. Sometimes motion capture is used to create realistic and fluid animation. Since Toy Story's release, computer animation has evolved rapidly to the point where they can be indistinguishable from live action. For over a century, animators have been pushing their medium forward, inventing new technologies and combining new styles, making fan-favorite movies along the way. But in any form of animation, storyboards are always present.